Hey everybody, welcome to the South Campus Show with Arlo White and Parishioner Michael Boylan. Michael, welcome. Good to have you on.
How are you? How are you?
I'm very well, and longtime friend, I might add. And Michael, you're involved in some exciting things these days. A thing called Reach for Me. What is it, first of all, and who's it for?
I could boil it down this way. We have about 5 million people in the state of Minnesota. Our government officials say 10% of them, 500,000 people who live in the state of Minnesota, are parents who have special needs children. Doesn't matter if they're autistic or Down syndrome or blind or muscular dystrophy. So 500,000 people, and there's no central place for them to come to share their own stories, hardships, inspirations, learnings. So Reach for Me, Father, is going to be basically a membership community on the cloud, on the Microsoft cloud, for people can join and get access for $5 a month, basically, to a program that will help them power through some of the hills and valleys with inspiration and hope, and a program that will help them.
Wow. So parents of special needs, they have a lot on their plate, and this is bringing people together to have some support and learn. And what else?
Well, the what else part is we have a specific training program for them that they'll be able to access virtually on the cloud, on the network, that will help them in a step-by-step fashion to kind of power through the lonely moments. There's a tremendous feeling of isolation and self-isolation that I have gone through as an adult son, as I have an adult son with autism, and unfortunately it was a key thing in our marriage breaking up, is all the stress, anxiety, and depression associated with taking care of Connor. And so instead of a cry in your beer story, that story allowed me to kind of lift up my experience and to help others. And so Reach for Me is a very inspirational place to come versus a depressing place to come. It's a place where they can get a specific program to apply in their own family or in their own relationships or in their own marriage to kind of deal with all of the hills and valleys, which are quite typical for parents, and they quite honestly don't talk about it much unless they know they're speaking with another caregiver.
So you're not just being there for parents, you are one of those parents, so you know the story.
Yep.
Tell us how you get, a little bit of the story about Connor.
The story, Connor's, everything was going swimmingly, as you know, for me, and written several books that had done well, and I was on the road 3 weeks a month trained over 125,000 professionals on my program, and then Connor was born. And we knew immediately that there was something wrong medically, but it took 3 years to diagnose Connor from Children's Hospital and University of Minnesota. So that stress of being at Children's or University of Minnesota or Mayo Clinic every month, and brain scans, EKGs, blood work, stomach issues, gastrointestinal issues, that takes a toll on a marriage and on the other, quote, normal children. So the dynamics of our family changed immediately, which unfortunately led to my wife leaving the marriage and leaving me alone with Connor and taking on all of that and raising him by myself, which I had done for 18 years. So all of that experience has been channeled into a program, literally a training program, to educate parents and to help them not be embarrassed, but to kind of champion all of these things which are quite normal for us experience, so we're not feeling so alone or isolated, but can connect our stories and actually use our stories to inspire others.
Wow. So just as you tell a little bit of your story, which I'm familiar with, of course, I'm just impressed with how you responded, because there is adversity in life and setback, and it can flatten us, and then we dust ourselves off. You did that. You got up and redirected this to, I want to do something not only for Connor, but for others like me, and maybe that gave birth to
It is, and you've
Reach
been
for
a
me.
you've been a primary spiritual advisor to me on this road. You know some of the hardships and the depths that I have been led to, and I just, personally, I believe that God has peeled me back over this 10-year period, and my desert experience, if you will, has been over 10 years, as you know, but through that, I feel that I'm ready to use in a peaceful way, not in an anger way or anything else, but in a peaceful way to be able to serve. No, because there were many times where I was close to the edge and felt that I just couldn't swing it. I just couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle the stress, the anxiety, the depression, and all the other challenges that hit caregivers with the healthcare system and how are you going to find time to go to work and earn a living. These are all normal kinds of things that mothers and fathers deal with, and they will not discuss them unless they know they're speaking with another parent. They feel shame or dishonor, and so the beauty of Reach for Me is connecting, you know, all in a bridge, nothing fancy about what we're doing, but it's a bridge of empathy and hope and respect, with the common thread being a step-by-step program that parents can come in and out of as they feel they need it. It's not forced upon them, but they can use it. So it's exciting, and we hope that we're in a position to launch Reach for Me March or April of next year formally in the state of Minnesota, so that they can begin to join the network and access those services.
So it seemed like this was waiting to happen because they're out there. And why is it you're the guy? But because this is your story, and you remind me of an old Rocky movie I once saw where he kept getting up. You know, he was down, but you've gotten up and been down several times and gotten back up because you felt this vision inside, this passion to turn this thing around and be out there for other parents like yourself. I so respect you, and
Thank you
for that, Michael, and you've been a great inspiration to me, just seeing this in action. But there's a lot of detail yet to come, to dots to put on the page and T's to cross and all that. What's coming up? What do you need for this thing to fly?
Well, Al Bill from our parish has been a blessing. I literally, just met him 2.5 months ago, and he is leading the charge with these Reach for Me awareness sessions, which is where we're educating people locally in the community, and we're starting to educate people in the 5-state area and beyond as to how we're going to pull this off. And because I'm not a wealthy person, I can't just write a check for a couple $1 million to snap my fingers. And so we have a very strategic plan to amass what I call a fairly small amount of money, $375,000 in this friends and family raise, which will allow us, Father Bob, to then engage what I call these fancy people in New York and Boston to formally raise the money we need to launch this, which is about $1.5 million. So I feel so peaceful. Al is doing a phenomenal job. And people from our parish, Wisconsin, other states are getting involved because they want to support the mission. This is a big vision because it will be for the state of Minnesota, but it's going to roll out nationwide.
Yeah. So if someone wants to be part of an awareness session, how's that go? You're doing them locally, from time to time. How is that?
I mean, how have they been going so far, you mean? Or?
Well, and if someone's interested in being part of that.
That's a good question. I mean, they can contact me, but I prefer them to contact the person who's running all of these awareness sessions, Al Bill, at his email, and I don't have it off the top of my head, but Al Bill is the one to contact because he has a plethora of information. We may be doing more awareness sessions here locally with some individuals we hope to be able to announce in the next month. Some individuals here locally that might host them at their homes on Lake Minnetonka and such.
Yep, that's awesome. This is a grassroots thing.
It is.
It's comes from a place deep in your heart. You're driving it. Al Bill comes along. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm learning a lot from him. He has a pretty illustrious background. of raising funds, mostly for nonprofits. The beauty of Reach for Me, Father, is it's both a for-profit and a nonprofit. The nonprofit will be set up in about 18 months, and that is to gift money to parents who do not have the money to pay medical bills for their special needs child. They might need $5,000, $10,000. The money for the nonprofit will be coming from the for-profit. So it's an interesting model that we have got going on here, and unfortunately, given the healthcare system the way it is, many of these parents cannot swing even their co-pays, which can be quite pricey because their children often require serious medical attention, and that can lead them into bankruptcy. And it's not a laughing matter. It's the truth.
Yeah.
So we hope to be able to help them relieve that burden.
There is an educational piece in this for sure.
Yes.
That's opened my eyes. But Michael, thanks for being on, and I wish you well. And
Thank you.
Reach for Me. I want to get behind and support this, and I know there's others out there that are interested and maybe want to be in touch with you because they're one of those parents too.
Yep.
Also,
Absolutely.
before we close out, there's always the magic hat here coming in to your right. Take a look, grab the question. What do we got here as we
The
close
question
out?
is,
Just as
what is
spontaneous,
your
Michael, as
favorite
you know.
time of year and why do you like it? Is that for you to answer?
That is for you.
You know what I'm experiencing right now? Connor and I love the fall. He loves to stand outside and just stare at the trees and the color. And sometimes you think he's running away and he's down a couple blocks and he's just staring at the trees. And so fall is a beautiful time of
That
year.
sounds so much like Connor. And
He loves it.
I should learn to do that more. Just go outside and take in the beauty. Michael, great having you.
Thank you.
Everybody, thanks
Thank
for
you.
tuning in.
Thank you.
See you next week. It's always good to have you with us. Peace.